Are you leaving money on the table every single time someone limps in front of you? Today, we're talking about one of the most profitable situations in all of live cash poker games, playing against limpers, because most low stakes live tables are full of them, and most players have no idea how to systematically take their money. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly what to do when someone limps, why they're doing it, and how to adjust based on the type of limper that you're up against, because not all limpers are the same, and confusing them is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make at the live cash tables. This is Vinton Poker, precision in, profits out. Let's start with the fundamental question. Why does someone limp? Most of the time, it means one of few things. Either they want to see a cheap flop, or they don't want to face pressure, or they don't understand initiative, and they're going to make much bigger mistakes later in the hand. That's the beautiful part. The limp isn't just a pre-flop mistake. It's a signal. It tells you all about their mental and emotional model. When you understand their model, you can take their money with precision and consistency. Now, here's where most players get this wrong. They see a limper and they think nobody has anything, and they go back into attack mode with any two cards, sizing too small, trying fancy bluffs, or playing too many pots out of position. That's not exploitative poker. That's just sloppy action. Limpers have weak ranges, not empty ranges. There is a difference, and we're going to get into that shortly. But first, let's talk about the most important concept in this whole video: dead money. When someone limps, they put money in the pot without taking the initiative. The blinds add more. And when you raise, all of that money is already sitting in the middle, waiting for you to claim it. That's dead money. Chips that you didn't put in, that you can win right now if everyone folds. And limpers, every single one of them, are adding to that dead money pool. That's the core reason why aggression against limpers is so profitable. You're not trying to win the hand. You're charging them to enter a pot they're not equipped to play in. Let's talk about sizing for a minute, because one of the biggest leaks I see at 1-2 and 1-3 is players raising too small over limpers. Here's the formula that I find most effective, and I want you to burn this into your brain. When in position, 5 times the big blind, plus 1 big blind for every limper. Out of position, 6 times the big blind, plus 1.5 big blinds for every limper. And at a sticky, loose passive table, add another 1 to 3 big blinds on top of that. Let me give you a real example. You're at a 1-3 game, 3 players limp in front of you. You're in position on the cutoff. Your standard raise is somewhere between $25 and $30. At a sticky table, you're going to open for $35 to $40. I know that feels bigger than normal. That's good. You're not inviting them to play correctly. You're charging their addiction. Because PIPO, precision in, profits out, tells us that your bet needs a job. If players are calling raises with garbage, and at 1-2 and 1-3 they absolutely are, then you're leaving a lot of money on the table every single time you size down, because they simply limp call way too wide against your value. And when they fold to you, you pick up the dead money without a fight. Now, the most important skill in limper exploitation isn't sizing, it's categorization. You have to know which type of limper you're dealing with, because adjustments completely change and differ for each one. There are 3 kinds of limpers, and each one is a different ATM with a different PIN code. Type 1, the limp folder. This player limps weak garbage and hates pressure. He doesn't want to play a real pot. He just wants to see a flop cheap, and when you raise, he's gone. And this is the most profitable limper at the table. Your adjustments? Raise wide, raise often, raise in position. Hands like ace-2 suited, king-9 suited, queen-10 suited, jack-10, 10-9 suited, small pairs, ace-10 off, king-jack off. All these become profitable isolation raises against a limp folder, because your actual hand almost doesn't matter. You're collecting dead money and taking down pots with continuation bets on boards that miss them. print money. That's the only instruction here. Type 2, the limp caller. This is the classic low stakes customer. He limps, calls your raise, misses the flop, and still finds a reason to call your c-bet. He's not going anywhere. He paid to see a flop, and he's going to see a turn too. Here's the adjustment for this guy, and this is critical. Stop bluffing. Start taxing. The entire question changes. You stop asking, can I make him fold? And you start asking, what worse hands will he call with? Top pair, good kicker? Bet. Overpair? Bet. Even second pair on a dry board? Often bet. Against this player, being called is exactly what you want. The money is already committed. The only mistake you can make is failing to extract it. But the flip side is real too. If you have ace king on a 9-7-4 rainbow board against two limp callers, do not auto continuation bet. You have nothing. They have pairs, draws, two pair. Your fold equity is low. Check instead. Don't just torch money because you were the aggressor pre-flop. Bet where their range is weak. Check where their range is strong. That's the post-flop secret against limp callers. Type 3, the limp re-raiser. At low stakes, the limp re-raise is almost always aces, kings, sometimes ace-king, maybe queens, but not always. Until you have a specific read that proves otherwise, respect this framework. Your adjustments, whenever your opponent re-raises and comes over the top, fold hands like ace-jack off, king-queen off, and pocket eights. Continue with premiums. Do not convince yourself to see a flop just because you're annoyed or because you ISO raised. That's ego poker, so kill it. Before we go on, if you're getting value from this video, give it a like and share it with someone else who's also serious about becoming a crusher just like you. Your support helps this channel grow, and it means the world to me. Also, don't forget to share your thoughts and questions in the comments below as I read them all. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any future episodes. Now, let's talk about position, because position is where this entire strategy either explodes or collapses. When you're on the button or cutoff against the limper, you are in the butcher's position. Raise more frequently, isolate wider, play more pots heads up against worse players at the table. That is the goal, not to see a flop, to get heads up with someone who doesn't know what they're doing, especially post-flop, with initiative, position, and dead money already in the pot. When you're out of position, be disciplined. Tighten your isolation range. Size bigger because you're buying initiative that you don't have naturally. And understand that you're going to face decisions on every street with no informational advantage. The small blind is the single worst seat to isolate from. You can still do it, but the hand quality threshold goes way up, and so does the sizing. Now, let me talk about multi-limper pots for a moment, because 5 players limping in front of you is a completely different situation. Hands like King Jack off, Queen 10 off, Ace 8 off, they all look great when one player limps. They look like a disease when 5 players are already in the pot. Multi-way pots punish marginal hands. Boards get wet, ranges get wide, you win smaller pots and get stacked way more often with second best hands. Against a large field of limpers, don't default to a polarized raising strategy. Instead, raise more linearly with hands that have clear equity and domination advantage over limpers' range. Hands like ace-queen suited, ace-jack suited, king-queen suited, pocket tens or better, strong suited broadways, and similar value-heavy holdings. Hands that benefit from building a pot, taking the initiative, and extracting value from weaker calling ranges. Meanwhile, speculative hands like small pairs, suited connectors, and suited aces often perform better as overlimpers when stacks are deep and the pot is likely to go multi-way. With these hands, you're not trying to win pre-flop. You're looking to realize their implied odds by flopping sets, strong draws, straights, flushes, and other disguised hands that can win large pots. The goal isn't to raise polar or to raise everything. The goal is to put each hand into the environment where it realizes most EV. Raise hands that benefit from initiative and domination over limp hands that benefit from deep stacked implied odds and multi-way action. Small pairs and pseudo connectors gain value when effective stacks are deep. The deeper the money, the more the implied odds, and the tendencies of your opponents to put the money in bad matter. Over limping is a secondary strategy. Isolation raising is the primary strategy. Don't confuse the two. Now, here's the thing about limpers that most players miss, and this might be the most important point in this entire video. When a limper suddenly gets aggressive on later streets, pay attention. I see this all the time. Player limps pre-flop, calls your raise, calls your flop, calls the turn, and then raises the river. And people call them down because they think he's a limper, he's weak. He's been calling all along. That's a massive leak. This sequence of action tells you their entire story. He limped pre-flop. He called the flop. Then he called the turn. And then you raise the river. That is almost always value. They had a hand the whole entire way. They were either trapping or they got their massive on the river. That river raise isn't a bluff, it's a build. Don't pay off the river raise just because they limp pre-flop. Limp pre-flop tells you their range was weak. It doesn't tell you their hand is weak right now on this river raise. Those are two different things. So let me give you the full framework one more time. Know your limper type before you raise. Limp folders print money with wide, aggressive raises. Against limp callers, tighten up, size bigger, and value bet relentlessly. Against limp raisers, respect the strength until you have a reason not to. And in multi-way limper pods, go linear or get out. Size bigger than you're comfortable with. At sticky tables especially, you're not inviting them to play well. You're exploiting their bad calling habits. Use your position. Button and cutoff, be a butcher. Out of position, be disciplined. And post-flop, always ask the right question. Don't ask, can I make them fold? But ask, what worse hand will they call with? That is the entire difference between a player who extracts full value and a player who leaves chips on the table every single session. If you want to go deeper on this, if you want me to look at your actual hands, your specific game, your specific leaks, reach out to me directly on WhatsApp. The link is in the description below. We'll set up a free 60-minute hand analysis coaching call and get to work. And if you want to get a feel for what working with me looks like, check out my Vinton Poker Coaching AI coaching tool. It's trained on my course, The Delusion Killer Masterclass, my book, The Poker Delusion, and much more personal data and experience from my 23 years of playing poker. And it's already helped thousands of players improve their game. The link is in the description too. My friend, stop leaving money on the table. The limpers are not going away. And every single time you let them in cheap, every single time you size too small, every single time you bluff a calling station, you're donating your edge. The table is full of opportunities. You just have to cash in when the opportunity knocks. If you really want to maximize your win rate and start crushing. Now watch this next video